in Herkimer County, things aren't so exciting. I guess it's tense more than exciting. It's this issue over the jail and where are you going to put it. The PNC property is owned by the Grossman family. And when Jim Wallace was on the other day, he said that they were currently moving forward on negotiations for the property and did not feel that it really seemed kind of optimistic that eminent domain would not be needed. The attorney for the Grossman family is Michael Longstreet, and he's on the line right now. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So you're saying there is no negotiation and no offer was put in?
I got involved in the springtime. The owner was concerned about the county taking this, and he was very concerned that they would take the property, find some oil contamination or gasoline contamination, and backcharge him for that. So we did the remediation, both in the hopes of cleaning up the site and in preparation for a potential eminent domain. In connection with that, I talked to their environmental lawyer, Tom West, twice. He said, yeah, their appraisal came in. They were going to make a couple deductions. They were going to offer $584,000.
Okay, and I think the legislature passed that resolution. So, but that was not an official. You're saying that's not an official offer. It's more of an unofficial offer.
We had two conversations. He said they were going to offer that.
Okay,
I told them we weren't interested. I told them our appraisal numbers, and there would be no reason for the owner to be interested in a lowball number.
Right.
And frankly, he doesn't want to sell. So,
and you're taking issue with the fact that Jim Wallace really kind of led us to believe that there's progress being made, and you're saying you don't see the progress.
I don't think he led you to believe. He knows better. He said there were conversations between us and the county attorney's office. I have not talked to Mr. Malone or his office. He said that negotiations were ongoing. We haven't talked. I talked to Tom West in July. They approved the offer, I don't know, sometime, what was it, August or September?
Yeah.
Nobody's called us,
okay.
And they know better because we are not interested.
So what is the number that your client, is there a number your client would be interested in?
No, he wants to keep the property.
All right. So that would mean, I mean, they seem pretty insistent upon moving forward. That would mean eminent domain, and are you planning to fight that?
Well, eminent domain, there's not a whole lot an owner can do when
I understand that.
They decide to take the property. They can take the property. They are the county, but the fight is on value, and that's where we are preparing to defend ourselves.
So let me ask you then this. So if it's something you're preparing to defend, and it does look like that's where this is going. So I would ask you, when the Grossman family, and tell me I'm wrong with this, it's just like any property owner, any business owner, or property owner, if you own a residence, you want your assessment to be low. The lower your assessment, the more you can handle the taxes, clearly. So when the Grossman family, I was told they worked to lower the assessment and get it down well below $500,000. Does that come back to bite you?
Well, I don't know what you mean by working to get it lower. I believe there was an inter-family transfer. Maybe 12 years ago, the building was torn down for the purpose of lowering the assessment. I don't believe any appraisals were done at the time. In terms of the assessment data and what it's assessed for, that is not admissible evidence in a court. It just is irrelevant in terms of the eminent domain.
All right, so you're answering my question. So in terms of this proceeding that seems like it's inevitable, the assessment is not even admissible, so it wouldn't matter.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that answers that question. So you're prepared for the battle, and the battle is going to be over value. And would you say that value is over $1 million, not the $580,000 they talked about?
Well, one of the problems with the eminent domain procedure law is you exchange appraisals in the middle of the lawsuit. So they can't see our number, we can't see their appraisal.
All right.
I have a pretty good idea of what they did. They extrapolated a low per acre value from smallish sites that were sold. There have been no big sales of commercial property, vacant commercial property like this in this county or in the neighboring 6 counties for several years. So
yeah.
There were some back in 2009 when this was first appraised, and I just think our theory of the case is going to work. There's a lot of law out there that says you can't snatch property at a low market.
Yeah. All right.
And I think that's what they're trying to do.
Okay, Michael Longstreet, thanks so much for taking the time. We appreciate it. You have, again, I think our takeaway on this is this is going to be a battle over eminent domain and a battle over not whether or not they take the property, but what they actually end up, what the owner gets in return. The battle is over value.
Well, let me be more specific.
Yeah.
Under the eminent domain procedure law, they're required to first make an offer, and then they make an advance payment. So they're going to be paying the owner $500 and whatever thousand it is upon taking the property, and then the fight will be over the next $1 million plus.
Got it. Okay.
Under the law, if their offer is substantially below what the court finds, they have to pay attorney fees, and they have to pay interest. And I wouldn't be surprised by the time this is done, they end up paying around $2 million for this because I know their environmental deduction is off. We've already cleaned up the site. There's no reason to have an environmental deduction in there. They also have a deduction in there for removal of the prior pad. There's no justification for doing that either. So they're going to be on the hook for attorney fees. They're going to be paying interest, and we're pretty hopeful about it.
Michael Longstreet, the attorney representing the owner of that PNC site, this long battle over the jail down in Herkimer County. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, quick break. We'll come right back, 7:51. By the way, Mario, who's piping in quite a lot here this morning and creatively at times, says by the time that Herkimer County jail is settled, they'll be using mind control bracelets on criminals and won't even need the building. He might be right.